All right. What can I say? This is the second video. Um, for anyone out there who might be watching this that has followed me at all, and I'd like to share it with anyone who's new as well, that, I make music sometimes, I paint. This is one of my paintings. I do conceptual work, I've done performance, I've done all kinds of things throughout the years. And so in the last year or so, though, I've got interested in this idea of art being the craft of life. That's kind of been my tagline that just consolidates it all into, a single phrase. And in art being the craft of life, um, it was just exploring and still is exploring the idea of that everything we do is art, essentially. Anything, everything, all times, etc. But I'm coming at it from an angle of looking at personhood and looking at how can we think of ourselves as artworks in a way that edifies us, that allows us to grow and develop as people. So, I mean, character building, yes, and also, a social aspect and just life itself. And this video is a part of my art, and I was just thinking before I, turned this on that I was like, I just want to do these videos and like this be the art, and it's not really like a finished product. That's not even what art is about in this sense, or in a way, in one aspect, and that it's just an ongoing becoming, a developing, a process. And I know too from the past, like I don't know that many people will watch these videos. I hope they do one day. It's nice that when you put stuff online, if you care about it and you really have put yourself into it, that it's nice that people can find it at later times. And it's very democratic in that way, that we kind of, it's up to us if we want to go beyond even like our own lives, that if we want to try and, make a happy mark on the world that can resonate into other generations. The internet democratizes all of that, which I think is fantastic, because I am so into that. That's all I want to say on that for now. But I've been watching some old Vito Acconci. I just want to say rest in peace. I did a poetry reading tonight. I dressed in all black, thought a little bit about him, and just basically, there's so much that I want to say, and there's so much that I want to do in these videos, and I don't know how long to make them. Maybe it always changes with me. I say I'll do a minute, then I'll do 5 minutes, then it'll be 10 minutes. I was doing podcasts on the same theme and topic, not really aware of like how you even get a podcast distributed, but not even worrying about that, because for me, like in the work, it's just about kind of capturing different ideas and natural feelings as they come around. And so I just want to start sharing it. I know how to post a video on YouTube and how to link to it and so forth. And, I think like I'd also like these to be like conversations, but it's really important to think like how this is some of my artwork. It's not about creating a painting like this necessarily. All of that is still possible, of course. That will more or less go on regardless. And I just refer to those as conventional methods because I don't really know what else to call those right now. And I do find myself still connected to like visual culture or making visual phenomena, whatever those may be, quasi sculptures, performance, and so forth. And even in reading the poetry tonight, there was a visual aspect to it all. But and I'm still drawn to that because I think I'm a conventional artist in that sense. But I think all people are artists in the sense that they're creating art all the time just by living their life. And I really, really do think, and I'll just go with it here for as much as I want to make this video, as long as my phone lasts. I like my backdrop here. I really do think that the Western canon over the last 100 years, starting with around Duchamp, just as a reference point, and the ready-made, and then going through another 50 years as another signpost to like Warhol and the Brillo box, where reality and art were blending, and the same with the ready-made, and also taking consciousness outside of preordained, specified sites for art and so forth, and then performance art and land art and all kinds of movements, net art with the internet, is just kind of shaking it up and kind of making it more porous and having art be more and more things that happen in your everyday life, and the happenings in the 60s, and social practice now, relational aesthetics, the movements that go on as art. All of those things are more like just life itself can be art, or as you live it. There's no. So this video is also in the sense of that, that I don't even know how long this is going to be. I don't even know what I'm going to be talking about. I kind of do, because I've done a lot of research and living and so forth, and going to shows and making art and thinking about these things and dreaming about these things and imagining about these things and spending a lot of life energy on these things, like a lot. But, I'm still just a person. We're all just people, It's like, it's the great equalizer of just our life itself can be, of course, beautiful, but there's also pain and sorrow and so forth. But there's, all the elements that we look at in art, are evident in our lives. So there's a way of looking at the social, for example, as like a concept in art, and also in your life, of course. And then breaking down the barriers of like, it doesn't have to be a performance at a certain place, like on a stage or even in a room where people say this is art's going to happen and so forth. I mean, all of the Western canon, like over the last 100 years, has been breaking that down to where it's just, you're just living your life. So I just implore you to consider this idea that art is the craft of life and what that could mean, essentially. And really kind of meditate on it, like actual sit-down meditation would be cool. And I've been working on those. But also just like contemplate it, just think about it a little bit, let it sink in, and see like, what do you think? Do you think that you could be art? I mean, like your soul, your person, whatever you identify as like your core being. What if you are art? And what could that mean for your life? And then just kind of think about that. That's basically it. But, I will say, like, all things being equal, I'm hoping for this idea that generates a kind of the edification and also just honoring like life and the preciousness of life, and just working through that basically. So I guess I could go on and on about this, and I could say more. And what's interesting is like it's all kind of an improvisation. It's coming from the heart. I've got my painting in here because I want to show. I'm still. This was in the last couple years. I mean, this is still, and I'm planning on trying to do a painting probably over the winter. So I'm still doing conventional practices, but I'm really hungry for trying to stay new and fresh and always trying to change and do something different. And in life, all these different things happen to you. Nothing is like scripted, and things just change and so forth. And it's kind of like improvising. And just kind of going with it. So, all right, I guess I'll cut myself off there. I really feel like there's probably even more, and I hope, I don't know what the lengths of videos are like on YouTube. For now, I'm using YouTube, and I might put clips on Instagram, and I hope to continue these conversations in person with folks, and really share that way. But for now, I'm just kind of like, kind of putting these ideas out there and seeing what happens with them. And like this video, if you got anything out of it, comment if you have thoughts to share. And anyways, I guess I'll see you maybe in the next video. I don't know how many of these I'm going to do, but anyways, think about it. Are you art? Okay, take care.